A day at the supermarket. It was a bright Saturday morning, and Emma and her younger brother James were getting ready to go grocery shopping. Grocery shopping had become a weekend routine for them. Emma enjoyed it. She liked walking down the aisles, comparing prices, checking quality, and figuring out the best deals. James, on the other hand, didn't find it interesting at all. In fact, he thought it was one of the most boring chores he had to do. As they walked to the supermarket, James sighed.
I don't get why you like grocery shopping. It's the same every week. What's so exciting about comparing prices?
Emma smiled, knowing her brother would soon change his mind.
Shopping is fun when you know how to compare things. You'd be surprised at how much you can save, or how much better one product is than another.
When they arrived at the supermarket, the first section they headed to was the fruit section. James grabbed a bag of apples, but Emma stopped him.
Wait, let's compare the apples first.
James looked confused.
Aren't all apples the same?
Emma shook her head.
No way. Look at these.
She picked up a bag of organic apples.
These are organic apples. They're a little smaller and more expensive than the regular apples.
James raised an eyebrow.
Why would we pay more for smaller apples?
Emma explained.
Well, organic apples are usually healthier. They don't use as many chemicals when growing them. But they are more expensive, and honestly, these regular apples look just as fresh. So, we have to decide, do we want the healthier option, or the cheaper one?
James thought for a moment.
I guess the regular apples look fine. They're bigger and cheaper. Let's go with those.
Emma nodded.
Good choice. Regular apples it is.
They moved on to the oranges. James picked up a bag without thinking, but Emma stopped him again.
Hold on, let's compare these oranges too.
James rolled his eyes.
Again? How are these oranges different?
Emma picked up 2 bags.
Well, these oranges are bigger, but they're more expensive than the smaller ones. And look, these smaller oranges are sweeter, according to the label.
James inspected the 2 bags.
So, the bigger oranges are better if we want more juice, but the smaller ones are sweeter? I guess it depends on what we're looking for.
Emma smiled.
Exactly. It's all about what we need. I think the sweeter oranges would be better for snacking, but if you want to make orange juice, the bigger ones might be better.
James thought for a second.
Let's go with the smaller, sweeter ones. We're not making juice, and I'd rather have sweeter oranges to eat.
Emma agreed.
Good choice. You're getting the hang of this comparing thing.
Next, they headed to the vegetable section. Emma pointed to 2 different types of tomatoes.
Look at these tomatoes. The organic ones are much smaller, and they're more expensive than the regular ones.
James looked closely at both.
But don't organic tomatoes taste better?
Emma shrugged.
Sometimes. It depends. Organic might taste better because they're fresher, but it doesn't always mean they're healthier. The regular ones are cheaper, and we're cooking with them anyway, so I think we can go with those.
James nodded.
Yeah, no point spending more money if we're just going to cook them.
They moved on to the cereal aisle. This was always James's favorite part of grocery shopping because he loved cereal. He grabbed his favorite brand, but Emma stopped him again.
Hold on, James. Let's compare the options here.
James groaned.
Really? It's just cereal.
Emma laughed.
But look, there are 2 brands that are almost the same price. This one is a little cheaper, but it has more sugar. The other one is healthier, but it's a bit more expensive. Which one should we get?
James looked at the boxes.
So, we either get the cheaper one with more sugar, or we spend a little more for the healthier one.
Emma nodded.
Exactly.
James thought for a moment.
I think we should get the healthier one. It's only a little more expensive, and I don't need all that extra sugar.
Emma smiled.
Good call. Healthier is usually better in the long run, even if it costs a bit more.
As they continued shopping, they stopped by the frozen pizza section. James always liked having pizza on hand for a quick meal. He grabbed the biggest box he could find, but Emma, once again, had something to say.
Wait, James. Let's compare these pizzas.
James sighed.
Let me guess, one is cheaper but smaller, and the other is bigger but costs more?
Emma grinned.
Close. This one is bigger and cheaper, but it has fewer toppings. The other one is smaller but has more vegetables and a better crust.
James frowned.
So, do we want more pizza with fewer toppings? Or less pizza with better ingredients?
Emma nodded.
Exactly. Sometimes more isn't always better.
James thought for a second.
I think the one with better ingredients will taste better. I'd rather have a smaller, better pizza than a big, plain one.
Emma agreed.
Good choice. It'll be healthier and tastier.
They finally finished shopping and headed to the checkout. James couldn't help but admit that comparing things wasn't as bad as he thought.
You know, it was kind of fun comparing everything. I learned a lot. Sometimes paying more isn't worth it, but other times it's better to spend a little more for better quality.
Emma smiled proudly.
See? Shopping is all about making smart choices. Comparing things helps you figure out what's the best option for your needs.
On the way home, they compared their favorite parts of the trip. Emma liked finding good deals, while James realized he enjoyed learning how different products were better or worse than others.
I guess I'll help with the shopping more often.
James said.
Comparing things is actually kind of interesting.
Emma laughed.
I told you it's fun. And now we've got some great food for the week, and we didn't spend more than we needed to.
That evening, as they unpacked their groceries, James looked at the apples and oranges.
I wonder which one is tastier, the apples or the oranges?
Emma smiled.
Well, we'll have to try both and see which one we like more. It's all about comparing.
Vocabulary. Compare. Meaning, to look at two or more things to see how they are different or the same. Example, let's compare the apples first. Expensive. Meaning, something that costs a lot of money. Example, these apples are a bit more expensive than the oranges. Regular. Meaning, normal or usual, not special. Example, these regular apples look just as fresh. Organic. Meaning, food grown without chemicals. Example, these are organic apples. They're a little smaller and more expensive. Healthier. Meaning, better for your body, something that improves or keeps you in good health. Example, well, organic apples are usually healthier. Fresh. Meaning, recently made or picked, not old. Example, but the regular apples look just as fresh. Quantity. Meaning, the amount or number of something. Example, it depends on what we want, quality or quantity. Quality. Meaning, how good or bad something is. Example, the smaller one has better ingredients. Budget. Meaning, the amount of money you can spend on something. Example, but we're on a budget, so let's get the cheaper one. Cheaper. Meaning, something that costs less money. Example, these smaller oranges are cheaper than the bigger ones. Section. Meaning, a part of a larger area or group. Example, the first section they headed to was the fruit section. Sweeter. Meaning, having more sugar, tastes more sweet. Example, these smaller oranges are sweeter, according to the label. Ingredients. Meaning, the parts or items used to make a dish or product. Example, it has more vegetables, and the cheese looks better. Product. Meaning, something that is made or grown to be sold. Example, learning how different products were better or worse than others. Toppings, meaning foods added on top of other foods, like pizza. Example, it has fewer toppings, but it's bigger and cheaper. Crust, meaning the outer edge of a pizza or bread. Example, the other one is smaller, but has more vegetables and a better crust. Taste, meaning the flavor of food when you eat it. Example, I think the one with better ingredients will taste better.